Well, the trail came about because of the creation of federal legislation for transportation enhancement projects. And the transportation enhancement projects were all about what we called then alternative transportation. In other words, something that's not motorized, something that you do with a bicycle, something you do as a pedestrian, or something you do with, say, a Razor scooter or wagons or with kids or something like that. And that legislation came about in 1991. When I came here in 1996, the then mayor, Jim Jenkins, told me, he said, I want to build a trail. And I said, okay, we'll do that. We put in an application, we put together we built a coalition, I guess is what I would say, of the entire community, a very broad cross-section of the community to support the trail initiative. We submitted an application and we won the first time that we actually put in the application. There were $10 million available for projects. Of that $10 million, we won an award for $1 million. That project then took another 5 years to develop because we had to do plan concept, we had to do right-of-way plans, we had to do design plans, and then we also had to do the construction and the construction inspection. When we cut the ribbon on the trail, it was a 5.5 mile trail from the Twig Rest area to 13th Street, to 13th and, 13th Street. And that was the first 5.5 miles. And the total cost was $1.2 million. In today's dollars, that project would be somewhere in the vicinity of $10 million. The economic benefit of the whole thing, well, the economic benefit is secondary to the primary benefits. Primary benefits are safety, mobility, connectivity. With safety in terms of people that are walking and bicycling can walk or commute or play, this is a linear park, on a trail without fear of being run over by automobiles or by a truck or what have you. The other thing is mobility, where we're trying to get people moving. If you're moving, you're exercising. If you're exercising, you're more healthy and you're going to live longer, and your insurance costs are going to cost less, and your medicines probably will reduce down too. And then connectivity, because we were trying to connect together neighborhoods, schools, the two universities, Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, Indiana State University, connect those on both ends of the thing. And then there was also the connectivity to the park, connectivity to Hawthorne Park, connectivity to Hers Rose Park, also connectivity to the ISU Memorial Stadium. And then we developed the Indiana Mile and the National Scenic Byway around that area, also as an additive to that. In terms of the economic benefits, I mean, you can look at it from a macro and a micro standpoint. From a macro standpoint, you're looking at competitive and comparative advantage. In other words, if other cities have trails and trail systems, they have an advantage over us in terms of being more attractive for keeping their residents, growing the community through a youth network, also in attracting new business development and reinvestment in the community itself from existing businesses and industries. The comparative advantage is you want to have better trails than your competitor. So from a comparative and competitive standpoint, it was imperative that Terre Haute develop a trail system. And then the other part of the thing is what I would call the micro benefit, the microeconomic benefit, where you look at a heritage trail apartment. What's the cost and the benefit of this? And the answer is huge, because housing is a rare commodity. Getting new housing development started, and actually successfully completing itself over a multi-year period, it's a very difficult task. Then we have not only the Heritage Trail, but we also had a brand new subdivision which popped up on the north side of Hawthorne Park. That was developed as a result of, have a good run, that developed as a result of the National Heritage Trail. We had improvements done within Hawthorne Park itself. We had a new housing, Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology added new student housing, and made that blend seamlessly with the trail, so that way their students had something to exercise on and commute on. And then we had other development with the new school. In 1998 then, Indiana State University continued the trail system with a grant that we wrote for them of approximately $600,000. And then they completed the trail through the ISU campus from 13th Street down 4th Street, 4th Street to 4th and Cherry. And then they also bifurcated 4th Street in that area. From when it was a 2-lane brick facility, they turned it into a one-way southbound roadway with parking on one side, the trail in the center, a dedicated what I would call bicycle boulevard, and then we had sidewalks on both sides also. It was an extensive attraction to the university itself, and it was a major coup. And then that led to additional development that we did along the 4th Street corridor down to Holman Street, which also led to development that we did along Holman Street from 4th Street all the way down to Thompson Ditch. And then we did 7th Street corridor, and then we did Brown Boulevard corridor, we did the Poplar Street corridor. So, I mean, in sum, whenever you construct a trail, success breeds success.